Hi sports fans, welcome to our Coaches Corner segment. We're visiting with head women's basketball coach Aaron Tavitas. Lady Lobos opening up the season tonight in exhibition play against the University of Texas at the Permian Basin right here at the Gallego Center. Coach, looking at the roster this year, we have only one senior in Amanda Garza, but I count 6 players on the squad with either JUCO or previous college experience. Seems like it's been a long time since we've had that kind of lineup with that much post-high school experience.
I think that was one of our really big goals from last year to this year, is trying to make sure we're getting kids that are ready to step in right now and come in and play. In addition to that, our freshmen, they can come on in and they can assist them on helping them grow also. So that was definitely one of our big goals.
Ashley Ousley and Desiree Allen are on this year's conference watch list for preseason. What do you look for those two to bring to the court this season in terms of their own individual play and leadership?
Well, I think first of all, both of them are great kids. And definitely we're going to be expecting them to do some really great things for us on the court, more importantly off of the court. I think both kids have gone through that grind. They've gone through those tough years, and now it's time for them. You know, they have a team around them now, and they're going to be able to go ahead and lead both our transfers and our freshmen into this coming up season and get them to, I guess, realize, hey, this is our team. This is, the way we want to get out there and do things, go about our business, and do things the Lobo way.
We have a pair of California natives on the roster this season with Amber Benford and Shannon Villanueva. How do student athletes from that far out of state hear about Sul Ross, and how have they acclimated so far during their stay here in West Texas?
Well, I think one big part of my job is making sure that we're trying to uncover every single stone, whether that's in-state or out-of-state, because no matter what, we have kids that do want to go up to college and do want to play college basketball. And if, one of the big things that we try and make sure that we do, whether they're in-state or out-of-state, we try and make sure we get them on campus. If we can get them here, we can get them to see our campus, get them to see our, dorm rooms. And then at the end of the day, if they can come out and they can say, hey, Coach, I can see myself being here next 4 to 5 years. I can see myself, actually, graduating from here. Well, then we can start talking about basketball. And then word grows. And as the word continues to grow, then you have different people that are reaching on out to us. So definitely we want to try and reach every single person.
One of the big off-season topics is the schedule, which came out early this past spring. We have a bunch of tough competitive NAIA programs we'll be facing early on, and a pair of Division IIs to throw into the mix. Before we get into the thick of the conference play, what's the main focus on facing that type of competition?
Of course, we can try and go in and try and schedule teams that we can automatically get wins, and that would be great and dandy. But our most important goal here is conference play. Yeah. And when we get there, we want to make sure that we play against tough teams that can get us ready for that challenge. And if we can come in and we can, get ready for it, and if, I always said, I could care less about the wins and losses there in the preseason. But once we get the conference play, if I can win all those, then I would definitely, please, Coach.
Absolutely. Although it's early, in your estimation, as far as the team is concerned, how have the girls gelled, or is that something that can only be determined after the first game of the season?
It's just going to take time. Like you said, we only have three players that are coming back from last year's team. Even though we have, 5 or 6 girls that transferred on in, it just takes time for them to go ahead and gel. Just like, one really big part of what we're trying to do is make sure that they not only are part, that they're with each other both on the court, but more importantly off that court. Because if they're able to interact, if they're able to get out there and gel off that court in the classroom and everything else, that automatically transfers to what they do all on that court then. So, like you said, over time, like you said, it's going to take about 3 or 4 games, and once we start getting out there and doing that and start playing, and we start traveling, getting on the road, and they start spending more and more time with each other, we're definitely expecting to see some great things from them.
Well, moving off the court, tell us a little bit about yourself, Coach. You've coached in some big markets like San Antonio. You're a Texas Tech grad and received your master's degree from Sul Ross. Discuss what drew you back to Alpine. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the Lady Lobo program as you're in your second season?
To be honest, it's just a great place out here. I definitely enjoy, coming from an area that's flat, that there's really not too much, when it comes down to the outdoors. And coming out here, it's just every day you're able to wake on up, see the mountains, the skyline, the weather's great. So definitely having that chance to come back was definitely a positive one for me. Short-term and long-term goals are always the same way. It's just trying to make sure that we're trying to build each and every year and take steps in the right, whether it be trying to bring in players, whether it be trying to get wins, whether trying to make sure that our, kids are taking steps to, graduate. That's one of the most important things I try and tell all of our kids is, aside from winning and losing, your parents, like you said, they could care less about a missed basket, about a win or a loss. The most important thing is you graduate, and I think that the school would appreciate that. The parents appreciate that. Is that we're not only bringing in kids that are going to help us win basketball games, but more importantly, are going to stay the entire 4 or 5 years and graduate. So aside from, like you said, our short-term goals, of course, are winning basketball games. But that long-term goals are bringing in student athletes that are going to stay the whole entire course. They're not going to stay a year or two and then head on back home. But kids are going to stay the full entire course. That are going to graduate and walk, and then want to come back and help the school on out.
Well, back on the court, we faced UT Permian Basin in an exhibition game tonight at the Gallo Center. What do they bring to Alpine tonight as a Division II squad?
Anything to deal with a team that offers scholarships. So one thing you have to deal with is not only their first 5, but they're going to have depth. Yeah. And that's a really big part. When you're dealing with E3 schools, you start looking down that 6, 7, 8 person. It starts to go downhill a little bit. And I think, like you said, the one thing that we have compared to last year is we do have a little bit of depth. And like you said, they're going to be a tough team. They're going to come on in. We're only about 2.5 hours away from there. They're going after the same kids that we go after. So this is a really big game for us in the sense that if we can come out with a win, and we're going after these kids for next year, then that definitely weighs on their options. And so, like you said, we're definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully we can give our fans a great show.
All right, folks, again, 7 o'clock tonight is the tip-off and exhibition play against UT Permian Basin. If you can't make the game in person, then check out our live stats and live video feed on the exclusive website for Stallhouse Athletics, www.srlobos.com.